Today we have a Truth window crank replacement. See, it's all loose, missing the nylon bushing. Here's the new one. Same length, slightly different design. You measure from the bushing to center. It's 9.5 inches for this one. It also gives you a measurement for the screw holes. The hinges for the window are bad. It's the bottom. Top is rusted. It's the top of the window. It moves a little bit. The bottom, really bad. Super wiggly. The screw is barely even holding it. We got some water damage. And then the happy dog. So to actually get to this crank, you have to pull this trim, pull straight up and out. Alright, it fits now. A little bit off both sides. Don't tighten it all the way with your impact. Use a screwdriver so you can get a good feel. I can already tell this one's much better. The other one was rubbing down here. Now we have like 3/8 of an inch under there. No longer rubbing on the seal. It's hitting there. I don't know. I don't think that'll be an issue. I think that goes in far enough because I think it only comes about there. And this is bent down, so we got to bend this all right. It had a bunch of washers in here because obviously it's sagging, so it shouldn't have a bunch of washers. Maybe a washer in between two and a washer in between two. I actually got stainless bolts and brass washers. Brass doesn't rust, and either does stainless. Let's see. Just gonna tighten these. Yeah, it still has some pretty good bite in there. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna sand it, prime it, use some paintable silicone, and then we'll paint it. There is water damage. This is just a fix for now. We can rebuild the window. It's just wood. It's not hard to rebuild the frame. You just need the right tools. So this is just to get the window operable because it's inoperable and she wants it now. And we'll discuss rebuilding the actual frame later. I'm going to get probably 1.5 inch screws. This window is 1.5 inch thick. If you add the bracket on there, it'll make it just shy of 1.5 inch. So that'll be perfect because the 1-inch screws that came out, 2 of them were kind of loose, 1 was still tight. So if we put 1.5 inch in, we're gonna have a 1/2 inch bite on 2 of them, and then one's gonna have 1.5 inch because it was already decent. Alright, we're back. Got all the loose paint off, sanded. There might be a little piece there. Alright, so I wanted you to see this. This window has hinges on the outside. It's on the outside. It's kind of weird. This seems to be the only one with the window on the hinges on the outside. So I don't know why, but it is. It's a little weird. But what we did do, got stainless hardware. I got a piece of brass. It's gonna go in between the two hinges. So the piece of brass sitting on top of there, and then basically we're going to sandwich the brass in between. And we got poly locks or nylon locks, because neither of one of these bolts that I took out had no nut on it, so this window was literally about to fall out. Together, both bolts will be facing down. The head will be up, because then if the nut did ever come off, even though it's a poly lock, it won't come off. The bolt will stay in. Alright, since we're putting in new longer screws, we will pre-drill. We don't want to crack the wood, and we could just measure simply like so. So now we know our distance. And me personally, I always like to finish hand tight, especially on delicate stuff like this old wood. Don't over tighten it, because you get the feel for it and you know exactly how tight to make it. Now that hinge, I don't know if you remember before, this hinge was moving massively. Now we got a really good hinge on there, and what we're gonna do is we have straightened the hinges out there, so we're gonna measure them. So in between those hinges, it's 39 1/4. So we're gonna go outside to outside, because these sit on the inside of those. We are at 39, or no, 38 13/16. Let's add our brass here. We're a 1/4 inch shy. So what we're gonna do is we'll make sure all of our hinges are straight. The one outside on the bottom can actually go up a little bit, so I'm gonna start there. And this one can definitely go up, because this one was way bent, and since the window was rusting, all the washers were rusting together and it was falling off, and that hinge was bending, and all the extra torque it was putting on it, because everything was jamming, it bent the hinge. I pull my level out here to see how level it is. Alright, that hinge is perfectly level. Let's remeasure. 39 1/8. When I'm measuring, I have both brass washers on there. Just a hair over. What we're going to do, bring it down just that here, and bend it at the back side. Perfect, 39 1/8. And we might have to adjust it because the window obviously fits in the windowsill at a certain height, and we don't know because everything was so bent. And I'm also going to make sure I put my white lithium grease on all the hinge sides that are touching, and I'll be doing it on both sides of the brass. Those are my inside shoes. I don't actually wear those ugly looking things. Make sure you have all your hardware ready. And the grease will help stick the washer. And that is very smooth. Very nice. That works. Effort. Just so easy. So nice. I need to put a stop here because the window will keep going. Oh no. I could probably, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to raise the bottom hinge a little bit. It seems to be sitting at a little low. And I'm probably going to add another washer to the top and the bottom of this bolt. See, that's exactly what we don't need. So we will be installing a stop and the bottom. See, the release is here. Honestly, it won't need it. It's okay if the bolt turns. I actually tightened the bolt all the way down and then I backed it off like a quarter. So the bottom hinge is really flexing. I mean, all that leverage. So what we're gonna do is there's a extra slot here. We're gonna drill and put a screw there because there's nothing. It's only holding here and here, but nothing here. So I actually have
a nylon bushing.
This bushing is what I'm using to help the window not fly open.
The final moment. Now let's test the stuff. Yep. Can't go flying open. Perfect. Now to do the trim. Can't even tell on the other side. Just pull them through. I'm going to have to modify it just a hair because I couldn't find the original, but I found one that was the exact, it was similar, so do with what we got. So what we're gonna do, let me find my pen. So what we're gonna do, hold this pin, it's about 1/8 of an inch, we need a little more, so if we hold it at an angle, we can get the contour. Oh, this could be tricky here. See the contour. Now we just need to cut that out. Alright, we got it. I used my cordless DA sander. Kind of just used it on the edge. It took about 3 minutes. Fits perfect. Now we'll just caulk around it. Caulk it back into place. And call it a day. I don't actually have my brad nailer. Got my finish nailer now. Perfect. I won't even need any caulking around anywhere else. It's such a tight fit. I'll just caulk where I cut.